Urban Media Today talks sports with Ray Porter Jr., Vince Butts, and Trevin A. Jones on Urban Media Today Radio.
It's game time!
It's Urban Media Today talks sports. We got Ray Porter Jr., got Keith Platt Jr., got Coach William Greg Hoy Jr., then we got Vince Butts, my buddy, because he's the only other junior not in the house, besides Margo Hinton and
that's
Eric
a conspiracy.
Right.
What's no conspiracy, man? There you go. Take that terrible towel off your shoulder, man.
At least get it out before you say it. Just get it out. Come on.
Yo, Vince, we're going to come to you next. Coach said the player that impressed him the most in the NBA was Earvin Magic Johnson. Who you got?
I'm going to say LeBron James. I mean, kind of in the shadow of Magic in terms of stature, physical stature, and what he's doing in his community. I think coming from where he came from, going from home to home, being homeless, not having a father figure in his life, and being able to open the school in Akron. I think he in one way separates himself from Michael Jordan in that he has a social platform and he speaks on issues. He may not always be on point, but I like the fact that he has come out and expressed how he feels about certain things that are going on in his community and around the world. LeBron James, the accolades on the court kind of speak for themselves. I know there are a lot of haters, because he left Cleveland, had to have stars, so he left Miami, went back to Cleveland, won another championship, go off to the Lakers. People might not like the style, but I commend him for taking control of his career. And being a path, or following a path that other players haven't been able to follow. But so now guys can follow behind him and really start to take control of their career versus letting a franchise dictate how this player is gonna play out his career. So LeBron James is really that guy for me.
Wow, good stuff. All right, Margo.
You might as well go straight to me after that. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm 100% on the Vince Butts platform there, talking about LBJ. For all the same reasons, there's not much more that I can add for that. I just believe the brother is a blessing on and off the court. And for him to be able to succeed, and I still believe that LeBron's biggest achievement is when he took the first Cleveland team to the finals. That was his greatest moment, to take those people to the finals, because we don't remember their names. What was it? Mo Williams? Was he on the team?
Daniel Booby Gibson, the
Exactly. Exactly. So on and off the court, I feel like he's following in Magic's, like Coach said, in Magic's footsteps. In terms of what he's doing off the court and speaking up on social issues and a businessman, and we can just go on and on and on. And I feel like he's taking other people with him, like his friends, and like just like Vince said, he's creating a path that others can follow. So I'm a LBJ all the way from my. Oh, and I will say this too. In terms of on the court, to be able to succeed in 3 different cities. And think about that. In Cleveland, he was a success, won a championship for them. In Miami, won 2 championships for them. And I believe if the season were to play out, would either be in the championship or win one for LA. So I think his on the court, the phenomena that he is speaks for itself. So yeah, LBJ.
Good stuff. So we got 2 LeBron James, 1 Earvin Magic Johnson. Miss Erica Taylor, we're going to come to you next. Who you got, E. Taylor?
I'm on the LBJ train too, but I'm gonna hop on off because y'all, this is the first time I've ever heard other people state those things.
Mhm.
So I appreciate this group.
All right.
But you know what? I'm gonna go because that documentary's hitting me hard. Everybody can be mad at Michael Jordan, but as a young woman from middle school when he was in college to high school, I believed in Michael Jordan. I was one of those young women, and I believed. And when the part of the documentary of when he after he left and he came back, that squad that he came back to, and they said Scottie Pippen was the only one that was there from the first 3 championships.
Mm-hmm.
My son want to wait to knock on my door till right now. Right this minute. To push them. Now, we might not like the punching in the face and all that stuff that he did, but he drove them through an NBA. You don't leave for 18 months, come back, and decide you're going to win it. Ain't nobody else doing that. We're not going to see that again. Now, I do respect LeBron. I do believe LeBron, especially that first team, he got me. Oh my God, that Pistons series.
Mm-hmm.
If you was a non-believer and you didn't
scored
become a believer
24
then, I don't know what you was watching.
Was that when he scored the 24 in the fourth quarter, y'all?
Yeah.
Let's
That
go.
just came on the other day.
When he just smoked the whole squad. But yeah, that push, and I'm not taking anything away from Scottie Pippen. I'm not taking anything away from adding Dennis Rodman. But to be a leader like LeBron, like Irvin, to be a leader on a team, you don't have to be liked. But they sure was celebrating when they won.
That's for sure.
So I'm going to go with, because I was already a believer, but just hearing, I never heard his side of it. I never heard how he would hear a little thing like they comparing him to Clyde Drexler, and he put a target on Clyde's back.
And had an attitude for sure.
Y'all better go back. Clyde still.
I think I saw a little bit of the next ones. He put a target on a player's back. I can't think of his name. Or was it the Washington Bullet? Did y'all see? Wait till that come up.
Oh,
It can be the slightest little thing, and if he made it up in his head. But I'm gonna go with that. I'm not, and I do agree with LeBron James off the court and everything like that. But I am to be impressed again from what I saw back then, and I was clear because everybody that talked about him, I'm like, either y'all were too young or you're forgetful. I'm impressed again, just watching this, hearing his perspective, hearing how other players talk about him.
mm-hmm.
How grown men feared of another grown man like that. I don't hear that no more. Please don't talk stuff to him. You know what I mean? Please don't get him going. Everybody wanted to be quiet around him. That's crazy to me. We're not going to see that again. They was calling, I didn't know, because they didn't have social media. I didn't know they were calling him Black Jesus until these later years. I didn't know that. As the league, I heard on Open Court, Steve Smith and them talking about they called him Black Jesus. I didn't know that. All that's just crazy. That just shows who he was, and that's just strictly. I'm just talking strictly basketball, but I do agree with Magic Johnson, because what impressed me the most is when he came back for that All-Star game, and of course the Olympics, and then LeBron. That's my man right now, and I just go through too many battles about LeBron to wanna. I'm just
right. It's so hard to keep LeBron up here.
It's exhausting.
It really is.
I feel you. So, all right. So we're going to go to you, Ray Porter Jr. We're going to come to Keith Platt Jr. next to last.
Well, I will speak of another player. And like you said, Erica, a lot of the players called Jordan Black Jesus back then. And I want to speak of one in particular, that's Shaquille O'Neal. You know, ever since his time at LSU when I was a senior in high school, I remember the magazine I had, and I followed him all through college. Then I followed him as when he got drafted by Orlando, and just how he turned that team around. Naturally, you know, the addition of Penny Hardaway also helped as well. But I was always impressed with his impact on the court, especially for a big man. And you know, I think he's pretty much the last of that type of big man. You know, 7 foot, 320 something that can dominate. Mm-hmm. I also, you know, just following him to LA and the three-peat with Kobe and going to Miami, winning with Dwayne Wade. just looking at how he played, model of consistency, 28,000 career points, 23.7 average, Hall of Famer. I've always respected his game. I mean, the hack a Shaq, the time that he had to deal with all that. But the man still got out there and did what he had to do. Mm-hmm. So I read his book a few years back, and I was very impressed with how he carried himself off the court. Number one, the heart of gold that he had, his parents brought him up right about it. And he was a giver. His Shaka clause, every year, consistent. Various cities that he'll give to the kids, and giving a truck to the trainer every year, and giving the people that he didn't know he did. I mean, so I like that in him, and that he had a plan with his finances. He took care of his monies, and as a result, prepared himself for the end of his career, and he's just as marketable as he is now. So I respect him because he took care of himself. He had his plan and he worked it out, and then what he's doing for his kids as well, just being what he's supposed to be. So I've always respected his career on and off the court.
Shaq Life on TNT.
Yeah. Yep, I've caught that too.
All right, Keith Platt Jr., who you got?
Since I'm the youngest one on here, I'm going to keep it basketball strictly. And the guy that impressed me right now, I'm talking about Grizzlies point guard, Ja Morant. You talk about a kid that came out of Murray State. Everybody doubted him because of the level of competition. He got drafted. He was a lottery pick in the NBA draft. He's done nothing but turn the Grizzlies around. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year or co-Rookie of the Year over Zion. Yeah. They'll probably split it, but he just dominated. From the time that I seen him block Kyrie Irving's shot, and they went to overtime, and he took it to Kyrie Irving, I knew he had it, but I actually knew he had it before that. A lot of people, like I said, they question the competition level. I don't know if he can guard people in the pros. That's Murray State, the Ohio Valley.
You've been on him from the beginning, Keith. You've been on him from the beginning. I'm a witness.
It's the truth.
I'm like, yo, this dude got it, right? Margo know. I'm like, yo, this dude got it. He's the truth. He's going to be the top guard in the next couple years. Ja Morant is coming. I'm telling you. If you don't know, you better get familiar. He's like an and one mixtape on the NBA hard floor. And he's a show. This dude is box office. He's coming. So, yeah, that's what impressed me. And be prepared because he's coming.
Keith, you convinced me. I bought his jersey. You convinced me. I got the
jersey. That's what's up. So then what I'm going to have to do is, what I was trying to get at, let me try something here, was that
there's a player. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't hear me. You can?
Yeah.
Everybody can hear me? Good. Okay. The player that I'm impressed with the most, I'm going to say, is Julius Erving, Dr. J, because Dr. J, but I'm going to talk about another player in a second, though, because nobody mentioned really stats or performance on the court, which you mentioned it, but then you mentioned the all-encompassing outside of the off the court, which is cool. I like Julius Erving because not only did he actually raise the level of a league, but he did it before MJ did it, and he did it before LeBron did it. He did it with the ABA. If it wasn't for Dr. J, the ABA really wouldn't have been that well known. And there were many, many, many great players in the ABA. Don't get me wrong. You had legends that were playing in the ABA. You have, in the ABA. You had Hall of Famers that were playing in the ABA. But because of Dr. J, before Michael Jordan, the ABA went to another level. And so I had to give it to Julius Erving because, I mean, as I was coming up, the doctor was the man. So Dr. J, Julius Erving is the man for me. And he's one of the reasons why I hate to argue or talk to people when they say the greatest of all time. There's so many greats, you can't have a greatest of all time. That's just my personal opinion.
Trev, ask this question, though. Can LeBron James play against the Pistons, the Celtics, the Bulls, Lakers?
Oh, you about to start something, Coach. Before we even get into that, it's the end of the third quarter.
Reggie Miller, Indiana. Come on, man.
It's Urban Media Today Talk Sports.
On Jordan. I think
look, they're starting. Here they go. Here they go. We're going to come back to that one, and we're going to go over that question again, Coach. It's Urban Media Today Talk Sports. We'll be right back after this time out on Urban Media Today Radio.
Coach started that.